Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
Lucy White and Ellen Milligan off the desk at Queen Victoria Street this morning. The headline is sobering to anybody of the history of the United Kingdom and the fabric of the people. Former Prince Andrew arrested on suspicion of misconduct. We are advantaged to have Mishal Husain with Bloomberg. She was with us ages ago. She was, I think, 12 years old when she darkened the door. And then a sterling career at the BBC and wonderful acclaim on understanding this disunited kingdom, maybe like no one else. It helps with a affiliation with Pakistan to be an outsider as a family. She has a resonance with the people of Britain like no one. I just, Mishal, the shock of it all, I want you to speak to an American audience. How do the people of the United Kingdom react to this arrest this morning that takes us back to the arrest of Charles I in the 17th century?
You know your history, Tom. Morning, Paul. I can tell you, first of all, the reaction in this newsroom, that this is the kind of moment where you don't just do a sharp intake of breath as you see the news come through. People are standing up at their desks just wanting to make eye contact and talk about the enormity of what's happened. So it was in the morning, our time, that the news first came that one of the police forces in the UK, the one that works around the London area, in the words of their statement, had arrested a man in his 60s on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It was soon apparent that this man was the former Prince Andrew. But the key point being the idea that a member of the royal family has been arrested, is in police custody, is answering questions, and that police searches of two properties, the police statement told us, were underway. Norfolk and Berkshire. Now that means royal residences, estates around Windsor, and Sandringham at Norfolk, which is where former Prince Andrew is effectively in an internal exile. So there's the enormity of that. And then it's clear from the police statement that what they're actually investigating is the period when Andrew was a UK trade envoy and what the Epstein files now appear to show about the passing of information to Jeffrey Epstein.
And I know the Telegraph has an extended discussion about Icelandic material, stuff off our radar in America. Mishal, the reality for Alexis Christoforous, Paul Sweeney, and Tom Keene is our knowledge is Colin Firth and Helena Bonham Carter in the King's Speech a few years ago. Discuss the resonance of this with the next royal family, with the Prince and Princess of Wales, the King ill with cancer, doing better and all that. Explain the generational dynamics here of the royal family with this shocking arrest.
This is not only uncharted territory for the royal family, but it is such an immense moment because even though back in November the King acted very significantly in the wake of the publication of Virginia Giuffre's posthumous memoir, even though he acted at that point to remove the His Royal Highness title from Andrew, to remove Prince, which is his birthright as the son of the late monarch, and also to remove him from where he was living on the royal estate in Windsor and to send him to a much more private place where he would essentially be out of the public gaze entirely in Norfolk. People may be heckling them, calling out. Certainly it's hard to imagine a future interview in which this doesn't come up. Prince Andrew actually has just done Prince William has just done a BBC interview in which nothing of the sort was discussed. But even though they have taken steps to distance themselves from Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, this will no doubt be a really difficult moment. Public support for the monarchy is widespread in this country, but it does rather depend on an unspoken assumption that everyone is going to behave really well. And when you're in this kind of territory, it obviously has implications for the institution more widely than one individual.
Mishal, the King Charles has issued a statement here this morning. King Charles has said that, quote, law must take its course, and King Charles is saying that he will not comment further on this matter. What are next steps here? Not that we have any guidebook here, but what do you think are next steps from the authorities?
Well, and interesting, the King had already indicated that if this did become a police matter, that he would do nothing to stand in the way of an indication. So the statement follows on from that tone that was set earlier. I think it's worth reminding ourselves what this investigation is about, the kind of role that the former Prince Andrew had as a UK trade envoy, the idea that as you try and fly the flag for British business around the world, that you have a prince, as he was then, as a calling card with pulling power to get foreign businessmen into the room when he went on a foreign trip. That was essentially the job he did. And it was... There were questions in the media. He got the nickname at that time, Air Miles Andy, because people weren't sure quite the value to the taxpayer that was being delivered by him flying around the world in that way. But it's that aspect of his previous role in the public eye that is at the heart of this particular investigation, because there are emails in the Epstein files which appear to show that he received, for example, an official report on a visit overseas, and he forwarded it to Jeffrey Epstein within minutes. So trade envoys are supposed to be under a duty of confidentiality. So that is the specifics of what the police are looking into. But of course, we don't know where this investigation goes, and it is a PR nightmare. It is reputationally, personally, on every level, you can see the implications for the royal family. So it's not just a development, it's a real moment in the UK.
It is. Mishal, do we know what rights former Prince Andrew has? Is he simply the rights of the average or common English citizen? Is there anything different here in terms of the type of treatment he'll receive? Do we know anything?
I think it's pretty clear from this development and from the police statement is no different to the way that any other investigation would be portrayed, although they do say we recognize the significant public interest in this case and we will be issuing updates when appropriate. Now, one aspect of this for the police is that in his time as a member of the royal family, and I would think even now, Andrew would always have had personal protection officers serving police officers with him.
Right.
So the police are also fielding those accusations of, you know, what did those officers see or not see, or what should they have seen, or what should they have said, given the allegations that have surrounded him for some years now. He's always denied any wrongdoing in relation to his association with financier and convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. But next steps will be what we learn from this police investigation in due course. And I should also say that he is entitled to a fair trial, if that is what it comes to. I'm going to stress there are no charges at this point. This is a police investigation. But everyone will also be conscious of those rights.
Mishal, one final question to get onto your busy day. Across America this morning, in our London offices, Mishal Husain joins us here on the arrest of the former Prince Andrew. And Mishal, you know this encyclopedic, I have to use artificial intelligence. And I typed in, what does Prince William's 2026 look like? And it goes through the awards in Mumbai coming up later this year, the royal warrants in the spring of this year, things I don't understand. And down at the bottom, very quietly, is I think what Americans understand, Prince George will be 12 in 2026. Mishal Husain, the continuity of the royal family as they move forward with all of this scandal out there.
You know, one thing that they will be thinking that was the right thing to do before this moment, and I guess in the context they will be proud of at this moment, is the fact that his titles, his position as the Duke of York, all of that was removed back in November. So I think they will be probably taking some heart from the fact that as an institution, as the monarchy, as the royal family, as the sovereign, which King Charles is, that action was taken a couple of months ago now. But yes, you know, out and about in the public eye in the UK, elsewhere, they will have to be prepared for this coming up in ways that they would not want. The royal schedules, the protocol, the the interactions that exist with the press where they exist. They'd like these to be as carefully controlled and on message as they could possibly be. And this kind of situation adds a degree of unpredictability and jeopardy.